right, once your seeds have germinated after those 1 to 2 weeks staying warm and wet in your greenhouse or other warm space, you'll start to see those green shoots poking out and the white rhizomes on the other end of that sprout. At this point, you want to get them out of that germination container and into some soil. When they start to look white and spindly on the sprout, it means that they've used up all the nutrients that they had in the seed container, and they are ready to go into the ground and start making their own food and photosynthesizing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take those germinated seeds, give them a good rinse again. Even after dormancy, we rinse them and put them back into that water. They're still going to smell a little funny, so give them a good rinse, get some of that funk off of there. These ones are already rinsed, so then I'm going to take some of my germinated seeds, put them onto a wet paper towel. These are going to keep it nice and wet so they don't dry out before I get them into this dirt. So once you have your seeds on your wet paper towel, you're going to want to get a potting container and some soil in it. The potting container size you use doesn't really matter, but you do want to use more or less seeds depending on how big that container is. With a container about this size, I would use probably 4 seeds, whereas something like this, I would only use 1 or 2 seeds. You want to give them enough room to grow outwards with their rhizomes and enough room to grow upwards as well when they get nice and big before you get to cultivate them and transplant them into the marsh. So you're going to have your potting soil in your container, and then you're going to make some holes in it to put your seedlings in. To make holes, you can use your finger, the tool that you're always equipped with, or you can use something like this, Sharpie or pencil, something like that, if you don't want to get your fingers dirty. So you're going to take your tool, finger, or pen, make those holes in your soil. Like I said, for this one I'm going to do 4 holes, and then into each of those holes is going to go a little sprout. So these ones are not germinated yet. We're using these for a demonstration, but if they were germinated, you would want to put them into the dirt with the sprout, the green part going upwards, and the little root, the rhizome, facing downwards. So you're going to put that in there so that the root can grow downwards and anchor that seedling, and the sprout can grow upwards and turn into that nice big tall blade of Spartina. So I'm going to put all 4 seeds into our little holes here. You're going to cover them gently with that dirt. You don't want to completely cover them with soil. You do want that sprout peeking up out of the dirt so that it can start getting that sunlight and making its food. You don't want to completely bury them because they're buried, they're not going to survive. Alright, so I've got all of my seedlings in there. Beautiful. And then once you do that, you're going to want to put this into a watering tray. These things drink water like nobody's business. They live in the marsh and are constantly flooded with water at all times. So it's really, really hard to overwater them. It is very easy to underwater them. So in order to make your life easier, you can use something like this. This is just a Tupperware container. You can use an actual watering tray if you have access to those. You can use an aluminum baking tray if that's easier for you to find. But you're going to take your pots or containers with your seedlings in it and put them into that watering tray and fill it up with water to the point where it's about halfway up your container. The seeds are going to wick that moisture in, and they're going to take up as much of it as they need. So you're going to leave them in here, check them regularly to make sure that they're not running out of water, and happy planting.